Okay, so welcome back. So in today's video I am gonna reveal how much this car has cost me to get it to this sort of state as such. People have asked me how much I've spent on it. I mean, I don't mind sort of saying it's nothing that I've ever done has been given to me or sponsored. I've paid for all this myself. But right, so what I'll do is I've got a list here of everything. I'll sort of show you what everything is, and then I'll sort of do the sort of explain how much everything was as such. I'll sort of walk around the car and sort of show you. So obviously, I'm going to start from where I started from my videos and work my way down the list. So the first thing that you would have seen me do was do all the sort of air side of the sort of engine as such. So so everything includes. So if I go here, so you've got induction hoses. You've got the cross-flow pipe, which comes across here, down into the turbo, from the turbo round into the intercooler. You've got the intercooler in there, comes back round up through this elbow here, and into there, into this sort of intake as such. So sort of from here all the way round, back, along and down. That lot cost me £1,191 plus £16 delivery. But then obviously I had a discount code, which is, you Google it, you can find it. I got 10% off that. So that was for the full intake system. I mean, I think if you was going to pay someone to do that, you would probably be looking at somewhere around a full day's work. I don't know what people's rates would be. I don't know, £20–30 an hour maybe. So you can do the maths. Obviously I did it myself, so it didn't cost me anything. Anyway, so next thing is the exhaust. So I've got on here, I've got the full Milltek exhaust all the way back to the turbo. So you get the exhaust tips, you then get the all the way through to the GPF. I've got a resonated GPF, and I've got sports cat, so all the way to the turbo. So if you was going to buy that off the shelf, that costs you £1,634, and I got a little bit of discount off that. I got about 30 quid off that. So that was all sorted out through TRS. I bought all of this lot from TRS. Then obviously the map will cost you £660. That gets you the handset, which you've seen in other videos, which sort of, you can change the maps and whatnot. I've explained it before. So obviously I paid that. I got a little tiny bit of discount off that, but I mean, yeah, only what anyone else would get. I didn't get no special treatment. So then obviously you've seen me fit the lowering springs on this. The springs are actually off my old car. I mean, if you could buy a set of them now for about £240, but obviously I didn't pay for them. But I'll put them on the list because that sort of gives you a realistic cost. I didn't pay for them. I'd obviously paid for them, but for the old car, not for this car. So obviously you've got the torque mount on here. It's a Powerflex torque mount. It sort of joins the gearbox to the chassis of the car, takes a lot of flex out of the engine. You can pick them up for about, I don't know, £130, something like that. Definitely worth doing that upgrade, even if you do nothing else. That makes a massive difference. So then we go on to the brakes. You got all four wheel spacers at 15 mil. So we've got 15 mil at the front and 15 mil at the back. I think I got them at a bit of a deal, as a clearance deal. They were, how much were they? four wheel. Got them for 150 quid, so that was for all four. I think you have to buy them in sets of two, so if you order one set you'll only get two, so you need to order two sets. So all four of mine cost me 150 quid. And then obviously another big one is the big brake kit itself. You can see it there. I'm actually really surprised how much of a difference that makes. It makes a massive difference to this car, more than I ever expected it to. So with the big brakes, I paid a bit extra for mine, because if you buy the kit, you only get rear pads, whereas I changed my discs. As you can see, the discs are sort of grooved as well, so ABC rear discs as well. So the whole brakes themselves cost me £1,414. I think if you was going to pay someone to fit them, you'd be paying at least 5 or 6 hours labour, I'd have thought. Obviously you change all the brake fluid and everything as well within that. Yeah, so, and then obviously that was just for them, and then the rear brakes are another 100 quid, so for the discs. So that's pretty much all I've sort of done to the car. Oh, and actually the only other thing I've not got on here is, I have got it on here but I missed it, is the short shift. So I've got Mountain short shift on here, which is very deep inside here. I never really did a video on that because it's very difficult to film. I went for the Mountain quick shift this time because it changes the whole mechanism rather than just bolting something onto the standard one. I've got a video of the standard one on my old car somewhere, but this is the Mountain one. So when you look at the Mountain quick shift compared to all the other brands, it looks completely different, and that's because you have to knock a roll pin off the gearbox, take it off the gearbox shaft, and then this replaces everything rather than sort of bolting something on. I think personally I think that's a better way of doing it, but it's your choice. I think you can get the quick shift bolt on ones for about 50 odd quid, but these are a bit more expensive, and they're weighted as well, which does make a difference. So anyway, your choice. Okay, so obviously these are all prices are without the VAT. So with all of that, you've got to add another 20% on because of obviously English VAT, and I have to pay that as well. So the subtotal without VAT was £5,222.99, plus your 20%. So you're paying another nearly £1,000 on that, which the VAT was £1,044. So in total, I've paid £6,267.59, and that's exactly how much I've spent on this car to get it as it is. Plus, obviously, the purchase price, which off the top of my head I can't remember. There were about 27,000, I think, from new. Obviously, I traded my old one in, so obviously didn't pay that because obviously I owned my old one, and someone had already paid the deposit on this and was waiting over a year for this, and I got it with the deposit already paid, so I was very lucky. So I didn't really pay a lot extra to change my old one to this one. Just fortunate that Ford rang me up at the right time, really. But there you go. I don't really plan on doing anything else to the car. Maybe I'll put some proper coilovers on it next year. It drives lovely as it is. It's yeah, I have so much fun in it. I'll be parking it up soon for the winter because I'm not going to be driving this in the winter. I want to keep this as sort of as pristine as possible. It's just done over 2,000 miles now. I have still got to take it back to Mountain. I've still got to take it back to TRS just to get it checked over to make sure it's sort of running at its optimal sort of performance, as I had the fuel issue sort of earlier on in the year. I have sort of checked some data logging since, and it all seems fine, but I need to do it again and sort of forward that on to TRS just to check that it's sort of fine. But I do want to get it the rolling road and get a rolling road sort of print out of the car properly, because the one I had done before only got to sort of 255 brake. It's definitely got more than that in it, so that's the sort of plan for early next year. And then yeah, I'll be taking it to lots of car shows, but I'm probably going to do one more sort of final video on this, sort of just sort of giving it another good drive. I want to do a proper sound test of the induction and the exhaust. Everyone asks about that a lot. I might do a sort of Q&A thing on it, because I've had so many questions asked and I've not really ever answered them properly in like the messenger part of YouTube. So I might just do maybe 2 videos still to come. But other than that, there's not a lot else I can cover on the car. So I'm sort of got a few little projects I need to wrap up over the winter, and I'll probably film a couple of them and put them on YouTube, but it's not really going to interest all you Ford guys, because I've got to finish up a motorbike project I've got going, and a few other little bits that I'm sort of just need to wrap up. But I'm sort of thinking next year or over the winter I'm going to be looking for a project car as such. I'm in 2 minds what to do. I want to carry on the YouTube stuff, but obviously I've run out of content on this now really. I can't just keep going and going for no reason. I've got to do a bit on my BMW, which I'll probably film. I've got all the parts for that. It's got a vacuum leak somewhere. I've literally just ordered everything for that. But I think for next year I want an engine swap, a car. I want to try and keep with the Fords, so, and I think I want to keep with Fiesta, so I think I'm sort of looking towards a Mark III Fiesta and engine swapping it with something. I'm not sure yet. I'm still doing a lot of research on that. My biggest mission will be to find a shell or a rolling chassis which is good. I don't really want to get involved with too much bodywork type stuff. I don't mind painting a car or getting it painted, but I don't want to be paying a lot of money to do a lot of rust repairs. I'd rather pay a little bit extra for the right car to get something that's not rusty. Not worried about the paint condition really. I'm more worried about how much rust is on it. So I will be probably looking for something like that after Christmas. So anyway, thanks for all your support. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this may have sort of helped some people about how much things do actually physically cost. So yeah, I will definitely have another video out in the next couple of weeks with another drive of this, just before we wrap everything up before the winter gets here. So anyway, yeah, like and subscribe if you can, and I will definitely see you on the next video. Thank you.